Hi, I'm Deb and welcome to my channel. Today I'm taking on a 14-mile route from the Peak District Walks website listed as Stanage Edge from Redmires Reservoir 13-mile trig walk. It's a circular walk taken in Rodmore, Stanage Edge and Oxstones Trigs with Stanage Pole as an added bonus. Good morning. We're back out in the peaks again. Or should I say I'm back out in the peaks again. I noticed in my last video I said we all the time, there's only me. So we're out for another long one. Got a return of the twat poles because I've got a bit of a twingy hip and a dodgy knee on opposite sides, so that could be interesting. Found a route on the Peak District Walks website. I think that's what it is. I'll put a link to it in the description. About 13 miles. Parked up at Winebrook, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Just coming through some woods next to a dam and heading to a nature reserve. This will be a walk that's got 3 trigs and Stanage Pole and should be a nice circular. I'm all decked out in wet weather clobber because it's supposed to be super windy and rainy this morning, but hopefully clearing up a bit this afternoon, so we'll see how we get on. Could do with having a wee, but I'm not very conspicuous in a bright red coat. See how we get on with that one. Parking on the opposite side of Redmires Reservoir to the suggested point on the map, I followed a signpost in the car park straight up. Care should be taken at this time of year with leaf debris all over the forest floor, as part of this stretch has a sheer drop to your right which could easily be missed in the carpet of orange leaves. This wooded area is straightforward and opens up onto what feels like an old railway route before crossing over a stream and heading out into cow fields on the way up to Rodmore. It's just got really windy up top and it looks like my GoPro switched on in my bag and run itself out. Awesome. Just what you want when you've walked across a field to realise you put your glasses down and forgot them. Arsehole. On this final stretch up to Rodmore, the views really start to open out over the browning heather of the dark peaks. Mamtor, Loose Hill, Win Hill and Kinder Scout are all clearly visible on the horizon. Hi, it's very windy. You're not going to be able to hear me very well, so I'm not going to be able to do much talking. I'll give the GoPro another try at some point and see if it'll switch on, but if not, a lot of this is going to be voiceover. Well, this is a mission. I just had to walk all through this. There doesn't seem to be any designated path. There obviously is. However, there's clearly no interest in maintaining it for me to get to there. For fuck's sake. Right, up to the bloody... I've taken my waterproofs off because I was sweating and it didn't appear to be raining, and now we've just come into waist high bloody bollocks. Oh, fucking hell. Get me into the sun. There's some kind of path that somebody's already trodden somewhere. Bit scary not knowing whether you're just going to disappear down a bloody hole. Where's the... Can't be a better bloody route than this. The mixture of wobbly grass tufts and wet waist-high heather, surrounded by pools of boggy water, made this a frustrating summit after already crossing a field of heather to get here, but the joy of touching the trig soon took over. This is really cute. Somebody's put a stone on. Well, now I've taken all my waterproofs off, well not all my waterproofs off, taking my legs off. Look at the colour of the sky, that's the direction we're going. Looks like it's cleared up the way we came from, which is where it was all grey. It was supposed to be blowing over and clearing up a bit this afternoon. So I guess we're walking into the storm. Awesome. So I'm looking for the turn off, looking up and down. It's a good job I'm following a bloody GPS. This is what we're calling a path. Obviously not a well-worn route. And it's starting to rain. Awesome. Well, these are nice on the legs. Well, we're about 5 miles into a walk that's about 13. That was a mission, getting up that moorland. It was really windy up top. I left my glasses in a field and had to go back and find them. The trig was in a field that was just completely overgrown with kind of scraggy grass and stuff. The route, I mean, if you're an excellent map reader, you'd be able to follow it. But I've really needed GPS because some of the openings, some of the styles, it's not a massively well-worn route. There aren't always clear paths across the fields where people have been before, so it can be quite difficult to spot where you're going. But we're down off the tops again now, just coming back through some woodland, coming over another nice little bridge with with a bit of a stream. I think we're potentially coming past the nature reserve on the other side now. So back into the woods probably that we were in before. And yeah, head on. Climbing out the valley now, up there. Down there. We've just been up there. Nearly lost me flat pole then. So we're heading through Hallam Moors. We are coming up to the nature reserve, and then we'll be the next point of interest, I guess, is Stanage Pole after that. So we're just climbing. It's going to be pretty blustery when we get to the top up at Stanage, so it might be buff back on the heed. Keep the wind out the Ludolls. Right, what have we got up here? Oh, I think we're coming towards the reservoir now. Just climbed up out there. So there's a red over that way. When me and Becca came and did Stanage a few weeks ago, we came across the moors here a different way. So I imagine we're going to be hitting a similar part a bit further along, or the same part maybe a bit further along. So trying to get a rig along now. It's helping with the trap poles as well. I've got a bit of a twinge in my left hip. Got my ankle strapped up on that side. I've got a twinge in my right knee. So it's helping me just stabilise coming through some of the moorland with all that wobbly, bulky grass. Right, onwards. So this car park here is where I should have parked, but TwatNav brought us the wrong way. So we actually were across the opposite side. But it doesn't really make any odds. It's nice though. I can't remember the name of the res, so I will stick it on the video. Having descended from the moors, hitting tarmac was a welcome break and a chance to cover ground more quickly. The stretch from the reservoir up to Stanage Pole was a short incline over stony path, with Stanage Lodge to the right and open moors to the left. There's plenty of opportunity on this part of the walk to stop and have a refuel and just take in the surroundings. Stanage Pole, the boundary marker between South Yorkshire and Derbyshire, was quiet, so I stopped for a few minutes to add some layers and have a drink before heading on to Stanage Edge itself. The view from this entry point to Stanage Edge is truly spectacular, with Mamtor's eastern face in full view. This distinctive part of Mamtor was caused by landslips causing unstable lower layers of shale, giving it its alternative name, the Shivering Mountain. Bit blowy again. It's amazing. Oh, I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. The wind was blowing with a vengeance, and there's no protection from it here as it rolls in across Hope Valley, smacking you in the face across the tops. Thankfully, it was blowing inwards, adding a layer of safety when getting close to the edge for a look down. The surface across Stanage Edge is uneven, with peat and gritstone boulders varying in size along the way. If you hug the path close to the moors, it's flatter and smoother, but there's plenty of jumping and hopping if you like it a bit tougher. This whole area is popular with climbers and boulderers, and it's clear to see why. If you felt adventurous, there's a bit of scrambling that wouldn't come with too much risk. All around this part of the peaks you can see discarded millstones strewn around, which make for a great photo if you can get there before the climbers. Here we come to our second trig, Stanage Edge, also known as White Path Moss. Well, that's it, leaving Stanage behind, and we're on our way now to Burbage Rocks. Crossing through Burbage Bridge car park, the views open out across Higgertor and Carl Walk, standing majestically. This is where I went a bit awry and took a rather rustic detour through Burbage Moor. So I started heading off down Burbage Rocks, which is where I thought we were going. My GPS told me we were off course, and I had a look, and I thought I don't want to walk all the way back. It seemed like it was close to the road, so I've walked through all this heather. Bloody legs are scratched to hell, and I didn't know whether I'd be able to get back in. I ended up having to jump over a fence which was barbed wire, but I thought I'll keep walking along the main road. Worst case scenario, when I can see where I need to get to, I'll just have to jump over the fence again. But actually there's a gate to access. So we're on our way to the last trig. What a mission, getting through all this after what feels like forever, trudging through heather, scratched to hell. There's an actual path. Thank fuck for that. I've gone in. So we're at Oxstones. This should be the last tree. It was such a relief to have made it to my final trig and to be on a properly marked path again. I know I wanted an adventure, but man, this was more than I bargained for. That's the best earned one ever. With my adventures from Oxstones under my belt, it was time to head back to the car, with the daylight now starting to fade. I think something's gone awry with my OS maps. It's telling me I've got 5 miles left and I've already walked 13. But as I'm walking, the amount that it's saying I've got left's increasing, even though I'm heading back to the start point. Just hope I'm back before dark. Making it in good time, the door closed on another adventure. See you next time.